2026 Astrologyman prophecies is a new age beginning. This guy never lies. But do those who interpret it always tell the truth? As we approach the year 2026, astrology channels across the world are asking the same question. Is a new age beginning? Charts are drawn, planets align, and some claim that 2026 is not an ordinary year. Today, you will hear the interpretation of a mysterious character who claims to be an astrology expert, revealing what they call the universal chart of 2026. But make no mistake, this is not a prophecy. This is not a belief system. This is a question. Because the real mystery is this: does the sky shape humanity, or does humanity project meaning onto the sky? What is the universal chart of 2026? In astrology, every year is said to have a universal chart calculated from the planetary positions at the very first moment of the year. When the chart of 2026 was drawn, some astrologers became uneasy. Three planetary signals stood out. Mars, in a position associated with conflict and survival. Jupiter amplifying social movements and belief systems. Saturn reinforcing control, law, and limitation. Historically, this combination has appeared during periods of major transformation. Coincidence? Or repetition? Mars, energy, conflict, and crisis. Mars represents war, action, raw energy, and survival instincts. In the 2026 chart, Mars occupies a position many astrologers associate with energy crises, resource conflicts, societies acting from fear rather than reason. Some interpret this as warnings of fuel shortages, power, instability, and global tension. But pause for a moment. Is Mars predicting these crises, or are we already heading toward them? Astrology does not always predict the future. Sometimes it simply symbolizes the present. Jupiter, growth or overflow. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, belief, and growth. In 2026, Jupiter's influence suggests rapid growth of digital communities, expansion of belief systems, mass movements driven by ideology. But history teaches us something important. Unchecked growth leads to imbalance. Jupiter expands everything, including misinformation, false leaders, and blind faith. Saturn limits, control, and fear. Saturn represents boundaries, rules, law, and time. In the 2026 chart, Saturn raises difficult questions. Will new restrictions emerge? Will freedom be exchanged for security? Will systems gain power over individuals? Some claim 2026 is the year of the system, not the individual. Or perhaps Saturn simply reminds us, without discipline, freedom collapses. Do zodiac signs really whisper to us? Here lies the biggest controversy. Do zodiac signs actually speak to us? Or do we hear what we want to hear? Predictions like a year of struggle for Aries, spiritual awakening for Pisces, systemic change for Capricorn. Sound familiar? That's because astrology speaks in symbolic ambiguity, and the human mind fills in the gaps. Astrology, prophecy, or psychology. Scientists often describe astrology as a symbolic language, a psychological mirror, a projection of human fears and hopes. Carl Jung once said, astrology represents the sum of all psychological knowledge of antiquity. Perhaps planets do not control us. Perhaps we simply see ourselves reflected in them, a new age or an old cycle. Many call 2026 the beginning of a new age. But history shows us no age begins overnight. Every transformation is gradual. What seems new is often ancient, returning. Maybe 2026 is not the birth of something new. Maybe it is the moment humanity realizes it has been here before. So here is the final question. If astrology is not real, why do so many people desperately want it to be? Perhaps the answer is not in the stars. Perhaps the answer is within us.